Hey everybody, thanks for logging on to riflesfootball.com. Darrin Bauming here with the head coach of the Winnipeg Rifles, Geordie Wilson. Tough loss in your fourth game of the season. Your team falls to 1-3, and you weren't able to string those wins together like we talked about last time. Walk us through how that game against the Edmonton Huskies went, right on the field where we stand.
Well, again, the scores aren't necessarily indicative of how the game's unfolded. It was 0-all 2 minutes into the second quarter, and right here at this goal line, we had a punt blocked, which shouldn't have happened. It was just we messed it up, and as a result of that, then our guy kind of panicked and picked the ball up and tried to run it out rather than giving up two or booting it out the back. So that kind of flattened us for a bit, and then they got up, it was 17-0, and then our guys, we scored a touchdown, I think just over around 2 minutes left in the half. And then their kid make a really good catch on the sidelines, and then we kind of blew a coverage here. We should have an interception in the end zone. And then it kind of unraveled, but we kept going at it. It was, it was a close game. It was just, the thing is funny when you're watching it, which you can't necessarily see if people are just tuning in watching scores. Because we watch the game film, we can see that our guys are getting better. Like, you can see it, and it's so close to getting there. We're almost there. So we're very close. We're actually, to be honest with you, pretty optimistic. I really am. I think we're getting close to hitting our stride. We're getting close.
Well, you are a young team, and it's going to take time for those things to get where they need to go. Talk about the decision to change quarterbacks in that game.
Yeah, well, Bryson was struggling a bit, and the way the coverage was, for whatever reason, we should have been they would drop their linebackers quite deep, and they were leaving, especially the field and the boundary wideouts wide open lots of times. Just on these simple hitches we could hit on second and 5-6, hitting drags for first down. And he started forcing the ball a little bit, and he was throwing into some coverage, and then we just figured it was probably worthwhile to make a change. And Thomas came in and did a good job. Other than his crazy sliding. His sliding was good, but the one we tried to slide as he was going to run out of bounds was quite entertaining. But overall, he did a good job. He made some quick decisions, and we're looking forward to seeing how he can do this week.
Yeah, I think I called him safe at second base as he slid out of bounds there on the call on CGFLTV.com. Do you have a decision on who your quarterback's going to be in Saskatoon?
Yeah, we're going with Thomas. He'll be starting at quarterback.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, unforced errors. Is that a safe way to say you're, the biggest demon of your team right now?
Oh, without question. We've talked about this before, is that our biggest opponent right now is ourselves. We make egregious errors at the wrong time, and it comes back and gets us, right? That's the thing. But the only thing that's good, we're not making the same error from game to game. It's a different one. And the other thing is too, unfortunately, we can't cover every scenario off in practice, because there's been some scenarios, that now, okay, we got to cover this one off, because they just don't have the football acumen. A lot of them haven't played a lot of ball, right? And then all of a sudden now, and it's it's more heated, it's more intense, etc. And when you make a mistake, it's that much more exacerbated. So we're coming along. This
isn't high school ball anymore. Does that change the way you approach film study or the mental part that you're trying to coach them?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I always meet with the team before we go and watch film by position group, and I'll basically recap the game. We talk about situational football stuff that goes on, where we made a mistake on this, and this is what we should have done, and everything else. And again, it's nothing personal against the kid or the kids that made the mistake. It's just so they can all learn, because almost 99% of them are in the same boat, right?
Right. Okay, so let's talk now about your upcoming opponent. One that I would say a lot of people, coaches, players, have circled on the calendar every year. That's a trip to Saskatoon in the Gordie Howe Bowl to take on the Hilltops. What have you seen from them this year, and what do you hope your team to accomplish beyond, obviously, the things you want?
Yeah.
That's the W every week.
Again, they are the Saskatoon Hilltops, and they're extremely well coached. They're really disciplined. It's interesting when you play them. The one thing is they're dominant, and everybody hates them because they're good, right?
Sure.
But you have to have respect for them. But the interesting part, as consistently good as they've been, they're probably the cleanest team in the league. They don't cheap shot guys. They never talk trash. They just roll out and play, and they beat you. And they're very systematic and almost robotic in how they do stuff, and they just keep plugging in the next guy, and it keeps moving forward. They've done a little bit more window dressing on some stuff, because before they were really overpowering in the sense that they're just from their personnel perspective, and they always had an older team. This year, they're not as old as they used to be, so there's a little more window dressing with different motions, different looks, but it still comes out at the same result of what they're doing, but they give you different looks. Whereas they're way more deliberate in the past. But they're a good football team, right? I mean, they do a great job. I mean, Sarge he's a legend, right? So I mean, we expect them to be great, as they usually are. But the big thing with the message to our kids this week is stay in the fight. Stay in the fight. Because I think in order for us to beat them, we need to win a game 14-13, 17-14. Maybe we got to kick a rouge at the end to get it. And I think it's like we were talking with Matt Hamilton or Matt Kennedy, our kicker, and I said to him, the team last night, this is how we're going to win. We got to stay in it. Like, don't panic. Punting is not the end of the world.
Right.
If it's 2 and out, you got to punt. That's good. Don't throw an interception. Don't fumble the ball. Make them work for everything they get, and make them string plays together. Don't make it easy on them, and we got to stay out of penalties and all that kind of stuff. Stay in the fight so that we can line Matt up inside the last minute and kick a game-winning field goal, or someone catches a game-winning touchdown pass or a run or whatever. If we stay in the fight, we can beat these guys, but we just got to stay in the fight.
Well, and they're not an unbeatable team.
No.
You mentioned winning by a rouge. That's what the Regina Thunder did in Saskatoon just a couple weeks ago. So I imagine you'll look at that film and continue to prepare your team.
Absolutely. I mean, and again, we're watching it. They're a good team, and like I say, they're going to be well prepared, but they're beatable, right? I mean, the big thing our guys need to understand, the good thing about maybe with youth is that these guys haven't been around here forever, so it's not like they've been beaten by Saskatoon for year after year after year. Most of them just know that we're going to Saskatoon, we're playing. Like, honest to God, like, I mean, most of these young guys, they don't really have any legs, like whatever, right? So, I mean, that's a good thing, because you're not playing the uniform or the history. You're playing the guys inside the uniform, and they're just kids like our guys are as well. So, I mean, they probably think because they put the uniform on, like it's like Clark Kent put on the Superman uniform, I got the Hilltop uniform on, we're gonna win. And that's kind of how they think, and rightfully so, right? I mean, they've been very successful. But we have to, it's not about the mystique, it's about the guy in the uniform. And our guys stay in the fight, and let's get this thing done at the end.
Well, it's definitely not the blue and gold people around these parts really respect. It's the Saskatoon Hilltops, so we're looking
yellow
forward to that.
And blue.
Well, it's golden, you know what I'm saying.
I know.
Last thought, health has been a major concern of your team, especially over the last 3 weeks and through the bye week. How did you come out of the game against the Huskies, and how are you looking going into this one?
Well, it wasn't the MASH unit we had coming out of Regina, but we lost 2 guys. So Joseph Funk Clements, he's got a high ankle sprain, so he's in a boot for 6 weeks. And Sakina Schreiber, our running back, he's got an AC problem, so he ain't gonna go. Those are the only 2 that aren't gonna go this week. We don't have. We actually are getting 1 guy. We're getting Dawson Abbott back, one of our offensive linemen, so that's good. Yeah. So, but we still, like the carnage, I mean, if you come to practice, there's a lot of guys walking around with crutches and knee braces and everything else. So, yeah, it's been, it's almost like we have a car wreck every day. I don't know what's going on. Like, it's crazy how many guys we've got hurt this year.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, I'm looking forward personally to watching your defensive line, my favorite position group of this team in 2021 against some big bodies on the Saskatoon Hilltops offensive line. So this is what you got to do. Log in to cjfltv.com at kickoff on Sunday, Rifles in Saskatoon to take on the Hilltops. For head coach Geordie Wilson, good luck this week.
Thank you, sir. Rifle up.
I'm Darrin Bauming. See you next time here on riflesfootball.com.